Radiant Heatran never saw much competitive play when it was back in the standard format, but now it's rotated to the expanded format in 2025. It has the ability to OHKO anything ever printed in the Pokémon TCG thanks to some really good old support cards. Let me show you how the deck works. Radiant Heatran has an attack, Raging Blast, which for 3 energy you get to do 70 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So the main cards we want to use to get this attack powered up on the first turn are as follows. Welder, which allows us to attach 2 fire energies from our hand to one of our Pokemon, and Calamitous Snowy Mountains, which puts 2 damage counters on our Pokemon every time we attach an energy from our hand. So you attach 2 energies with Welder to ping Heatran twice with 4 damage counters, and then attach an energy from hand to get 6 damage counters on Radiant Heatran in total, to then attack for a massive 420 damage. Nice number if I don't say so myself, which OHKOs anything the Pokemon TCG has ever seen. But how can we get this combo off easily, I hear you ask, especially as we only are allowed to play 1 Radiant Pokemon in your deck? Well, in terms of draw support, we play 1 copy of Dedenne-GX and Crobat V, and we can get supporters out from the deck or back from our discard pile with Tapu, Lele-GX and Eldegoss V. We can also attach our 1 copy of Forest Sealstone in the deck to either Crobat or Eldegoss to search our deck for any card we like. Fezandipiti EX also allows us to draw 3 cards if we were KO'd during our opponent's last turn, which is a very good comeback card and is seeing a lot of play in standard at the moment. We even have attacking support in the form of Marshadow-GX, which has an ability which allows us to copy any basic Pokemon attack that we have in our discard pile. So if Heatran is KO'd, we can still attack for huge damage every turn. But how can we get the combo pieces every turn to pull the attack off? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we play Jirachi with the Stellar Wish ability, which allows us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck and put a trainer card we find there into our hand, but it makes this Pokemon asleep. But even if that is an issue getting us to sleep, we have a way to play around it, because we play 4 copies of a skateboard to give all of our support Pokemon in the deck free retreat cost, and it makes Jirachi able to retreat regardless of its sleep condition, which is absolutely crazy. For energy search and recovery, we play 3 copies of Fiery Flint, which is basically 2 earthen vessels in 1 card, and then 3 copies of Fire Crystal, which allows us to retrieve up to 3 fire energy from our discard pile. Really good if we're being knocked out. And don't forget, we also play 3 copies of Night Stretcher 2, which can also get us a Pokemon back if we wanted from the discard pile, which can be super clutch. But there's a card in this deck that can pull off this combo all on its own, getting all the pieces that we want just by playing this 1 card. Yes, you guessed it right, Secret Box Spec, the most secret source card in this deck, which basically allows us to grab Welder, Calamitous Snowy Mountains, a skateboard, or Forest Sealstone, and an item card of our choice, as long as we discard 3 cards from our hand first. A few more tech cards I must mention. We play Marshadow and Field Lower, which allows us to bump our opponent's stadiums like Chaotic Swell, so we can easily get Calamitous Snowy Mountains into play regardless of what happens. Escape Rope is another one, which is really good for chaining Stellar Wish Jirachis if we need to, and in case we prize Radiant Heatran or any other important Pokemon that we need in the match scenario, we play 2 copies of Hisuian Heavy Ball. But let me know your thoughts on this deck in the comments below, and let's go blast our opponents with some rage. Let's go. Alright, we are going second, and it's against Drax Ult VMAX. Please don't bench anything. I've got the absolute sauce in my hand. I literally have everything in hand. We can do this. Come on, attach and pass. Come on, just pass. Please, please. This can be the quickest game ever if you let it happen. Yes, come on. Alright, it's our turn. We top like a Pokégear. That's completely fine. We can just chuck down the Calamitous Snowy Mountains, attach the escape board to the Jirachi. We can throw down the Radiant Heatran, and we can just Fiery Flint and get 4 energy straight out of the deck by discarding these 2 cards and then just doing that. That's absolutely insane. And we have Welder in hand, which is the main enabler here, which is absolutely crazy. We're going to ping ourselves twice with the stadium in play in a sec. That puts 4 damage counters onto our Radiant Heatran, and we can attach from hand again to put 2 more damage counters on. We don't even have to Stellar Wish, that's crazy, and we're doing 420 damage to win the game on the first turn. That's a donk. GG's, oh my god, that is the quickest game ever, full stop. Let's get into another one. Alright, getting into a second game then, and they send up a Cramorant V. We are unfortunately going first, so it means we can't do the turn 1 wombo combo donk, but we do unprize a Jirachi here. I am thinking we could just retreat this Marshadow and then, you know, go for a Stellar Wish potentially. I don't like having this many cards in the hand, especially when I want to Crobat. I can sort of force to have to. I do want to play the Forest Seal Stone. Potentially next turn as well. We can Stellar Wish for another Welder, I guess. I'm not sure it matters. Depends if we have what I think we have in the deck, so we'll go with that. That's completely fine. We can attach the Forest Seal Stone and then just pass and see what they can do here. Yeah, if they don't bench anything, it's completely fine. They could just go for a beak catch potentially. They have just attached an energy and they greens exploration, so maybe we'll see some ball search here. Was that a missing clover? That was a missing clover, wasn't it? Why are they getting missing clover into their hand? Are they trying to take all 6 prizes in a turn somehow? Is that what I'm playing against? And they're just gonna beak catch for 2 cards. That's fine, isn't it? Because I can just I can do the combo now. Because hold on, have I just won? Top deck it in any. Let's play this out. So we could Stellar Wish, I guess, but I want to start Alchemy first. I think probably for. Yes, the secret box is in the deck. That is excellent. That means we can pretty much get everything we want, I think, because we have Welders in the deck as well, even though we already have 2 of them in the hand. So we can secret box away 2 Welder and a Dedenne. That's completely fine. We do have the Eldegoss V in the hand if we do want to retrieve a Welder from the discard pile, but I'm not sure it's going to be necessary. We can grab the stadium, the escape board, and probably the Fiery Flint, am I right? The quick ball works actually as well, because we need to get the Heatran. That is actually quite important. We can get the Welder as well, that's completely fine. Now it's just based on me if I haven't prized the Heatran, which I don't think I have, which seems good to me. We can get the energy with the Fire Crystal back into the hand. We can quick ball away the Eldegoss and go looking for the Radiant Heatran. Yes, it's in the deck. That is excellent. We can now just Welder these 2 energy on, ping ourselves twice again, and attach the 3rd energy. And because we have the escape board on the Jirachi, it means we do have free retreat, and we can retreat while we're asleep as well once again. And we haven't even Stellar Wish this turn again for the 2nd game in a row, which is absolutely wild. We're just going to do another 420 damage to take the knockout. That is absolutely wild. What a deck this is. Alright, getting into a third game because I'm loving this deck so much, and to be honest we've just had 2 really quick games, so I've got to find a longer game for you guys to make it seem like it is actually a good deck. But looks like they're playing Charizard EX maybe with the Inteleon engine, or Shady Dealings engine I mean. It's absolutely wild. This deck is actually meant to be quite good in the real expanded format. Let's see what we can do against this deck. We top deck an escape board that gives us free retreat on the Marshadow that we have in the active. We do have pretty much all the things we kind of want in the hand for an attack. So I am going to try and thin out a deck with the Artisan that they have played down here. Maybe get a Jirachi into play and go from here, because look, we actually have Forest Sealstone, we have Quick Ball, we have a tool to retreat as well. It is kind of wild. I'm going to have to attach the escape board to the active. I can Quick Ball away the energy, probably for a Crobat, so we can draw 3 cards here, and then most likely attach the Forest Sealstone and go from there. We also have the Fiery Flint in hand and the Tapu Lele, so we can guarantee ourselves a supporter this turn, aka Welder, which is absolutely wild. I can probably Fiery Flint away the Stadium and the Jirachi and just grab 4 energy out of the deck just like that, which is absolutely wild. And then I've also got the Dedenne in the hand if I want. I also got Star Alchemy on the Crobat V. I think I'll go and grab maybe, we need a Hisuian Heavy Ball because we've prized the Radiant Heatran. I nearly forgot. Wow. I didn't realise we actually prized that. That's actually kind of wild. So we can go and grab that out of the prizes, so we can attack, and then we can chop down the Tapu Lele to go and grab the Welder, which is absolutely wild. And just start pinging ourselves with the Calamitous Mountains in a sec. See, this deck just sets up so easily once it gets going. It's absolutely wild. If you get the right draws, this deck is unstoppable. Anyway, we're about to do 420 damage to Subble with 60 HP, so you would say that's a bit overkill, but that is what this deck is. I mean, the base damage you do with this deck is 420. I have had a game where I've done 1050 damage if I've had 150 damage on the Radiant Heatran. It is kind of funny. So if you saw there's a short on my channel actually that's out right now. You can go check that out on my channel. I did a little teaser video for this video, and it was just crazy doing 1050 damage in a single hit. Anyway, looks like they are going to be able to set up, they've evolved into a Drizzle with the Shady Dealings. That means that they can go and get any trainer they like from their deck and put it into their hand. It does really, set up the Charizard EX really well. It means you can basically be super consistent and set up a Charizard pretty much every turn, which is actually kind of scary. And then you've got the quick shooting Inteleon, which puts 2 damage counters on one of our Pokemon of their choice, which is absolutely crazy. It means that they can set up KOs for later in the game, which is absolutely wild. Anyway, here we go. They're going to Infernal Rain and just grab an energy to attack with. I think that they're always going to knock us out here, but this is why we play Marshadow-GX. It's simply because in case it gets knocked out, we can just promote Marshadow and then just do the same 420 damage, because it's looking like we can do it that way, to be honest, as long as we get a Welder somehow. We do have a Pokégear in the hand, and we do get the Quick Ball, so if that fails we can go and get the Eldegoss if you want. But who needs Quick Ball, who needs Eldegoss when you get the Pokégear hit with the Welder? That's absolutely crazy. We can Fire Crystal 3 energy back into our hands, so we can guarantee that we get the energy. We have another Stadium in case they bump it as well. We have another Fire Crystal, a Night Stretcher as well. This is actually a really good hand. Anyway, we can just power up our I can't talk today. Our Marshadow-GX and do 420 damage. I better thin out the deck, I guess. We can go get the Fezandipiti because we were knocked out last turn. It gives us a bit more draw power, which is absolutely wild. I can't think what else to do. We flip the script, see what we get off these 3 cards. Another Marshadow, that's completely fine, and a couple more escape boards. We can attach those to the Jirachi. I might save one of the escape boards for later, but we can just knock out this Charizard EX just like that. The crazy thing is, you don't even have to worry about massive HP numbers, because 420 HP pretty much knocks out anything in the game. I mean, we live in a world where 340 HP is the max base HP. I think that's Eternatus VMAX, and you know, I could be wrong on that. That's actually about to change with the new Mega Evolution set coming out in September, but you know, still, even if Megas are released, this deck is still knocking them out in a single hit, which is absolutely crazy. Anyway, they're gonna Shady Dealings once again on the Inteleon. This time they get to search for 2 trainer cards because Inteleon is just that much better, but they can't set up a Charizard this turn, which is really good for us. It means that we can go and just take a knockout and go down to 2 prizes, so that we can, you know, knock out a Charizard EX for 2 prizes to win the game, which is absolutely wild. Let's see what they get off this Shady Dealings. 2 Buddy Puffin. I wonder what that's for. Maybe some more Sobbles, and another Charmander. That kind of makes sense. In case they're wondering if we can gust them up, to not gust up one Charmander and then, you know, not make them not evolve into Charizard for at least another couple turns. But we don't actually play any Gust in this deck. When I was originally testing this deck, there's an Iono, that's rough. Iono to 3. Anyway, when I was testing this deck, I was running a copy of Guzma, but I realised that, you know, most turns you actually want to Welder, so you can power up your Marshadows and your Radiant Heatrans and stuff like that. But you know, I opted for an escape rope instead, just so, you know, we can chain Jirachi Stellar Wish abilities and, you know, potentially disrupt our opponent. Anyway, we can use the Artisan here and just get the Marshadow to discard it, which I think is quite funny. We can just, yeah, discard the Marshadow, discard the Stadium, and I'm pretty much happy to just take another knockout, to be honest. Another 420 damage, and yeah, this is the game plan. We just go down to 2 prizes and hope and pray that you know, they don't get a Charizard, or they evolve into a Charizard and just knock us out, and we can go from there. There's a Stadium, that's really good. So in case they do knock us out, we can you know, chain or get into the Stadium and stuff like that. So that is really good. And even if they play a Chaotic Swell, we can Night Stretcher for the Marshadow back into the hand and discard the Stadium with the, what's this ability called? Is it Get Loose or something? No, that's the other Marshadow I'm talking about that was banned. Oh, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. You got to let me know in the comments. I'm having a bit of a brain moment, big brain moment, small brain moment. Anyway, they're gonna Infernal Rain here, and they're gonna power up their other Charmander on the bench. That's completely fine. They're doing like 300 damage, which is absolutely wild. I mean, it's not really necessary on 150 HP Marshadow that's, you know, got 60 damage on it, but you know, whatever floats your boat, mate, to be honest. They Shady Dealings again. This deck I'm playing against is so consistent. They're gonna Iono again. That means we're gonna be Iono to 2 cards. That is kind of rough. Although if they do knock us out, we do have Fezandipiti EX to draw us out, and we also do have Jirachi with the escape board on it, so I may as well promote that to go find a trainer, as we already have free retreat on it. So yeah, I think we can just go from here and do this. We top deck a Dedenne, okay. I can definitely Night Stretcher for a Radiant Heatran, because they have 3 prizes remaining, so I don't really want them to take a multi-prize turn on their next turn if it comes to it. I could Pokégear, I guess. I can actually Stellar Wish first, that seems more... Yeah, there's a Welder, that's really good. So we can go and get that. The only problem is I don't have any energy in hand, or any ways to get energy back into my hand, although we do have the Fezandipiti still to draw 3 cards, which is really clutch. So we can just go from here, and I could Pokégear if I wanted to Finn. I don't want to Dedenne, why am I doing that? I can just flip the script and hope that I get something. Yes, we actually get the secret box. That gets us everything we want, I think, which is absolutely wild, because I can even discard the Welder if I wanted, because I already have Welder in the deck, I think. Yeah, that's crazy. So we can just go get the Stadium, the skateboard, and probably the Fire Crystal to get free energy back from our discard pile, which it just gets us everything we need. So surely that's the win, right? Because we can chuck down the Stadium, we can attach the tool, that's completely fine. I can get the Fire Crystal, get the fire energy back into the hand, and then just, you know, do the Welder thing, ping ourselves, and then we got free retreat on the Jirachi already, so that is wild. We're doing 420 damage again, and they just concede, GG. Alright, we're getting into a 4th game here then, and well, I hope we get a decent start here. Could we play against Donk? I don't think so, never mind. Do you have a Volcanion in the active? We can easily knock that out this turn, I hope. We have the escape board in hand for free retreat already. So we can Pokégear to start off, I think. We can go get nothing because we didn't get anything. We can attach the escape board and just Stellar Wish here. We can get the Welder, that's pretty good. And we can just go from there. We have 2 Fiery Flint in the hand. I think we've got everything we want, to be honest. I could actually go get Pokégear because I don't have everything I need, I don't think, yet. So, because I need the Stadium as well, which is quite important. So we can Fiery Flint here, away 2 cards and get 4 energy into the hand. I think I have played this quite horribly because I need a Stadium, I need a Pokemon, I need a Radiant Heatran. So yeah, it's quite difficult for me to do now. So maybe I should have taken the Welder instead of the Pokégear. Do we hit? Yes, we get a Welder, we're not punished. Okay, but we don't have the Stadium, as I was saying, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm going to have the power up it slightly, but we do get the secret box off those 3 cards, which is quite good for us next turn. I think I might just hand it over to our opponent and see what they can do. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully we can get the secret box off next turn and go from there. Looks like we're playing against a Firebox deck. They're playing Arcanine EX with Volcanion. They play an Arven down. That means they're going to get an item and a tool card. Could we be seeing another Charizard EX matchup? I mean, I've seen... Isn't there a theme deck that's Arcanine EX and Charizard that was given to you by TCG Live or something? I don't even know. Anyway, they do just pass to us. And we do get head, so we are not asleep anymore. That doesn't really matter because we've got the escape board on. But I think I can just Stellar Wish first and see what we can get. We get a Forest Seal Stone, but I think the Fire Crystal is more important. So we can just use the secret box and discard the Fiery Flint and a couple energy. I can go get the Welder, the Calamitous Snowy Mountains, and probably the Forest Sealstone, and maybe a Night Stretcher, maybe not, I'm not sure what's best here. I've got an Ultra Ball in the hand already, so maybe Quick Ball is best in case we need to get a Crobat V or something like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that, let's go with that. We can then probably throw the stadium down, that doesn't really matter, but we need to get the energy back into the hand with Fire Crystal, so we'll do that, so that is very, very good. I can then Welder to ping ourselves twice once again. I mean, I better attach 2, I mean, I've got 4 energy on already, so I've got to do that to knock out this Volcanion EX in the active. It only has 220 HP, so we are only doing 280, would you believe it? So we can just you know, absolutely body this Volcanion EX. We don't even have to do the full 420 damage wombo combo, so I'm planning to set up maybe a Marshadow for our next turn in case they do knock us out. I mean, they don't have the best of board states right now, but it's always good to plan in advance. So we can definitely retreat now and just go and Raging Blast, I think, for 280 damage, easy knockout, easy 2 prizes. We're on our way to the win, let's go. Alright, what do we get off these prizes? A Fire Energy and a Marshadow. Actually, that could be kind of handy in case they do play down a stadium of their own, or maybe even a Chaotic Swell or something like that. That would be very, very good. There's a Charmander, so we are playing against an Arcanine EX Charizard build. That's quite interesting. They've Arvened as well, so I imagine they're going to get Rare Candy for the Charizard. Oh no, the Defiance Band and a Trekking Shoes. Okay, I think they already have the Rare Candy in the hand. They have just drawn something with the Trekking Shoes. They Sacred Ash the Volcanion EX back into the deck. Seems like quite a bit of a waste to me. And they attach the Defiance Band and just pass. Okay, that was quite strange. Anyway, just seeing what we can do here. We have got 2 Welder in the discard pile. It's not really needed that we, you know, do we really need to power? Do we need to really do anything else? I mean, I guess we could power up the Marshadow properly now, because we can definitely Eldegoss here, and attach the Forest Sealstone to it. That's actually kind of broken, and we can definitely Welder now to the Marshadow to ping it once more. We get a Hisuian Heavy Ball, another Marshadow as well, which is kind of good for later down the line. I think I'm just happy to do 280 damage and go down to 3 prizes remaining, and just, you know, keep ploughing through this deck that we're up against. I mean, they're not having the greatest of starts. Some would say maybe it's not the greatest of decks in the expanded beta format, but you know, who can complain? Perhaps it's a new player trying to play the game and exploring the formats, but they do get a Charizard here, so they will be able to accelerate a bunch of energy onto their board from the deck, and they're definitely going to knock out my Radiant Heatran in the active. And the Iono comes in as well. I have just, you know, jinxed it. I've completely said something bad about my opponent, and they've just IO'd me. They've absolutely punished me, but I do have a stadium in the hand, so in case they do bump it, that shouldn't be an issue. We have the Denny as well for draw, so it's not like much of an issue. And I keep realizing I have all these things. I have an outer secret box with the Forest Sealstone, which is absolutely wild. Yeah, I'm not sure it's too much of an issue. We can just, they're even going to start powering up their Growly from the bench, and they're going to take damage from our stadium. They're going to knock us out here. That's completely fine. We can even promote the Jirachi. It has free retreat, and we can use the Stellar Wish ability as always. This deck is just so good once it gets going, oh my god. We top deck a Fire Crystal as well. What is this game? We can definitely Fire Crystal for those 3 energy back. That's kind of wild. I can potentially Ultra Ball for a Marshadow as well. I'll definitely Stellar Wish first though, see what we can get. There's another Ultra Ball. I might get the Escape Rope as use it as something to discard with the Ultra Ball, and go from here. So what can we do? We can retreat early, that's completely fine. We do have the energy in the hand, but we can Ultra Ball now for another Marshadow, I think, and just try and wrap up this game. So yes, we just need another Welder really, and we kind of guaranteed it with the Forest Sealstone on the Eldegoss, which is kind of broken. We can just ping this Marshadow one more time, and I think I'll probably Dedenne just to draw a fresh 6 cards as well. Yeah, we can do that, and it's just, this game is so slow, I apologise. We do get more energy into the hand. There's a Night Stretcher. We do have access to the Forest Sealstone. I do keep saying that, my apologies. But yeah, what can our opponent do? I mean, we just pretty much checkmate them by, you know, we don't even have to grab Secret Box. We can just grab. We don't even have Secret Box in the deck. That is kind of wild. We did prize it. That is wild. But we're still rolling through this deck. I mean, what can our opponent do? I guess they're gonna have to IRO us to 1 at some point. That could be really, really disruptive. But even then, like, I've got another Marshadow waiting on the bench, and I'm about to do 420 damage to the Charizard, which is absolutely crazy. And they have pretty much nothing set up. I mean, they have a 4-card hand. What can you do? I mean, the best they can do, I think, is probably use the Growlithe attack and do 70 damage, which doesn't even knock me out because Marshadow has 150 HP. So if anything, we're doing a bunch load more damage compared to normal. Someone's got to let me know in the comments how much we're doing if they do eventually do the damage here. What is it, like 70 times 70 times 130, so 70 times 13, that is ridiculous. Oh, they just concede, never mind. It's great to see cards that didn't necessarily shine when they were standard legal do their part in the expanded format, whether that's black and white forward or TCG Live's Sun and Moon on format, and I'm trying to make my channel the #1 place for all things expanded for the Pokemon TCG, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that. But in the meantime, check out this video on your screen for another expanded underrated gem. But until next time, stay strategic everyone. See ya.